My name is Jin Kim, and I served in the South Korean military for 2 years. The law requires every male to serve the military, and it is extremely hard to get out of it. If you purposely evade the military duty, you will get jail time. The service is mandatory mainly because our relationship with North Korea. After things got intensified after the Korean War, there was a need for an active force for the South Koreans, so the military can always be ready. I served the Korean military between the years of 2009 and 2011. Before the military, I was living in New York. I decided to go because I had to get it over with it at some point. At the time I did my military service, I hated it. I just hated every moment being in there, trapped in that isolated society, and I just waited for my time to pass. I haven't seen a single person who really wanted to be there, who was enthusiastic to be there. People generally want to avoid the military because I think of the forcefulness of it. Compared to the US, where the military is voluntary and you can pursue it as a career, in Korea, 2 years of service is mandatory and everyone is forced to do it. You're living your free life and then suddenly isolated from the rest of the society. You have no contact, you can't feel your cell phone addiction there, and you're basically sacrificing 2 years of your youth for the nation.
So that was a glimpse of testimony from a South Korean man about his experience when undertaking his responsibility of mandatory military service for 2 years. And what's the correlation between compulsory military service for South Korean adult men and their perception of feminism in South Korea? According to the research conducted by Korean Women's Development Institute, the majority of young South Korean men want women to be subjected as well to mandatory military service, as depicted by 72% of them think that male-only draft is a form of gender discrimination. Moreover, this could occur because most of them think that during their military training time, they lose their freedom since mandatory military service ideally takes 2 years to complete. They are also concerned about the opportunities they might miss out on during military service. This also reflects South Korea's hyper-competitive job market, as the emergence of government programs aiming to bring more women into the South Korean workforce made the young South Korean men wonder if their 2 years in military training substitute with the attempts of self-improvement, they won't be left behind women in the job market. Alongside this time, male youngsters have perceived the obligation to attend military service as a traditional male duty that no longer remains relevant, as this was also navigated probably by the men's urge to tackle the statement upheld nowadays that men are becoming more conservative, otherwise women are becoming more progressive. Furthermore, modernization theory states that modernization removes traditional constraints and leads to wider access for women to economic resources, expanding their opportunities and independence. Consequently, in today's reality, South Korea is facing the world's lowest country fertility rate, which fell to 0.22 back in 2023. Initially, the fertility rate refers to the average number of children a woman is expected to have over her lifetime, which unfortunately was far under the rate of 2.1 per woman needed for Korea to maintain the country's population steady at 51 million.
Women are actually swearing off men.
There's no way I am letting any man near me for the next few years.
They're saying no to dating, no to marriage, no to sex,
Celibacy, at least to me, isn't that hard.
and no to having children.
Like so many other women in America who have been considering trying to get pregnant, I woke up today and said, nope, not anymore.
This woman is actually shaving her head in protest. It's being called the 4B movement, and women are taking to social media declaring their allegiance.
The 4B movement was actually started by women in South Korea back in 2019.
This might happen because of the aftermath of the rise of feminism in South Korea, as women are more aware of equipping themselves with education and career pride, and put aside their desire to form a family by upholding the idea of no sex, no dating, no marriage, and eventually no child. Ultimately, Reflecting on this phenomenon started to make me wonder, does today the idea of feminism flourished to the thoughts of women's supremacy rather than two genders moving side by side equally?